if we invite you out with us, like in public, still don't matter.
They know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wait, with the homies.
Yeah.
With the homies.
So if I'm a new chick, I've been dating you for the past 3 weeks.
That's so new.
Oh girl, he done invited me out with his friends.
Nah.
That don't mean shit.
Nah.
I don't think he's inviting you out with the.
We sussing you out.
With
you know
the homies. But
there's another girl.
I have a friend who actually will invite new girls out to hang out with the homies, even if they're out, just to see if she could even roll with the homies.
Is he a monogamous type of person, or he just dates a lot?
He's a hybrid.
Okay.
He's a hybrid.
We'll bring anybody around.
If he's serious enough about you.
That's not awful. But
no, I got you.
I don't know what you mean.
No.
It's not that selective. It's more. So when is the point where it becomes more?
If we start,
how do we know we're chose?
If we start to do more, if we start to do dedicate more solo time with you only, that's a signal. Like multiple times a week.
See, we got that shit backwards
but you gotta be careful that you're not on a certain day of the week though.
In public settings.
Yes.
And it's okay if like the homies know and your friends know. It's not like we out at this restaurant. No one really knows. No one even knows you're dating or anything like that.
So not like me just popping over like at midnight. Like if we're doing stuff out in public.
Like if someone was to see you from his circle or your circle, it's not a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
everybody knows.
Y'all talking or whatever.
I love how like these basic ass concepts have to be broken down because when you are in a situation, it's almost like, that's
you forget when you're in it, you lose all of your senses because you're trying so hard.
But here's the catch: like you can be going all around town, out on public dates and everything.
And we are discussing cuffing season.
Yeah. If you're not at any point, like you're in a social setting with your mutual friends, let's say y'all share mutual friends or whatever, and someone said like if they're not sitting next to you and like kind of like catering to you in that social setting, y'all are not together. No matter how much y'all are out and about in these streets, if they can't physically sit next to you and be booed up in that
being attentive setting. I think it's being attentive in social settings because I understand that entirely. Like if you're sitting next to like every time you get up to get a drink, do you need something or like just little things like even if you're checking in right no I feel like that
because we're proud to be with you. We're like we brag and boast and we want everybody to know. So like we'll do those things and we'll be attentive in public.
Are you cool?
Yeah.
Y'all actually leave the event together. Like, not meeting after the fact. Like, okay, I'm about to go home.
So then, what is it with guys?
Like,
right.
So wait, then I have
secrecy and you're not together.
I have a question then. What is it? What is the like? Oh, I don't like labels. Like, what does that mean? Does that just mean you ain't shit, or does that just mean?
I feel like they're fishing around when they do that. Like, say,
keeping
options open.
Even if they do or do not have somebody, it's like I'm keeping my options open because I like you, but I don't want to put a label on it, and I'm not trying to ruin what we have by fucking around with somebody else, which is my intention from jump.
Not only that, like if I don't have a label, if we don't have labels, right? And let's say you do find out he's hanging out with someone else and everything, like, but we weren't together.
Right. Yeah.
You can't get mad. We're not even together.
We
like
weren't
that.
together.
You know.
Yeah, girl.
You're doing everything of a relationship.
Yeah.
But that title is the one thing.
Don't get caught up in the non-titles stuff. I feel like somebody really is into you and that's not even a question. They're just gonna be like, so we're dating now and or you're introduced as this my girl such and such and everything. It's not even a question. It's not like a negotiation.
A title cuts off the options.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So now that we have like a good crowd.
Yes, crowd.
We're gonna transition.
Bring it on in. Bring it on in.
We're gonna do a last segment.
It's about to be amazing.
It's about to be hilarious about relationships. So our friend Sloan just educated us on definition, the timeline, the calendar, the deadlines. Cuffing season. So we're gonna have her.
I just check the weather as soon as it drops below 40.
There you go.
See? We don't be thinking that much. We just check as soon as it gets a little cold outside. All right, it's time to cuff. Let's go.
So let's just real quick. to give some context to this conversation, I think people should know a little bit about us.
Yes.
So just like say your age and your relationship status. Just so we can
like that.
Just set a little tone.
I like this. Hello, icebreaker. I'm ready.
I'm gonna give an age range.
This is
age range.
And your age. That's fair. Okay. I'm D and I'm 23 and I'm single.
Cornell 24 and I'm single.
C, I'm 28 and I'm very well. I'm single.
Which one is it?
I was very single like about a month ago. I'm just single.
Hey,
now.
okay.
Okay. I'm Miss Pope, 27, and I'm single.
Dre Major VOX, 28, very single.
I'm Sloan, and I'm 29, and I'm floating in the wind.
Hey!
Okay, you better give a new category.
You better let us
We're gonna start right there.
You better. Single, married, floating in the wind.
Single, married, Netflix and chill. Okay. So now that you have given us that bit of life, can you just go ahead and explain what cuffing season is?
Yes, let's get into the season of cuffing that is definitely upon us right now. So
it is upon us.
Yes, Lord. The season.
So I like to use the NFL analogy, basically starting September, like depending on, which region you're living in, typically September.
Geographic.
Guys and some girls. It's not, just
gender bias.
male centric. Guys and some girls, they pull from their summer squad of people that they've been dealing with.
The practice
squad of, the 5 or so people that they've been rotating out on dinners and lunches and texting and
coffees.
Try to fill everyone out to see, okay, who's going to be that one person or two that I'm going to lock down for the winter season.
Hibernation. She said or two.
Yeah, it's like a hibernation season.
Wow.
And we can, do regular stuff. We can go out to the movies. We can be on the couch, cuddled up.
Netflix
on
and
that cold day. Hang out and
Take you to
everything.
BBQs.
Because we so classy.
So
brunch.
Exactly. So September, and brunch season kind of changes when it gets cold. It's not turn up brunches anymore.
No longer.
It's real brunch. It's really going out and sitting and have to entertain somebody that
I still be
actually,
I do too. I ain't gonna lie.
no, it's true conversations.
That's like there's something to be said for that. Summer brunch is totally different because you can go to brunch and then
float
see
around.
and be
rest
social
of the
as
day.
hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're inside, you sitting at your table.
Yeah,
looking
winter
the other person
brunch,
in
you're
the face.
really
Unless
with
you're
that
at PS
person.
450.
Yes.
Yes.
Or Chuck Peridou.
I forget you're the brunch king.
Oh, I'm the brunch king.
So if y'all ever have brunch questions, just send us an email
Right.
at blackwomenworld@gmail.com.
And I'll answer you. The brunch coalition. Yes, Lord.
But yeah, so September is basically preseason, like football.
Preseason.
And
We
in football, you have your
now,
squad of 90. Got to cut it down, cut that roster down.
Some people get injured.
Wait. Right. Y'all didn't hear? You have to cut that roster down.
Basically, you have your D Roses to your Steph Currys. And you gotta decide who's gonna really make the cut.
Or your Sharapovas to your Serenas.
Injured.
Yeah.
Your Sharapovas to your Serenas. You better
Shout out to the
preach.
Serenas out there.
Yes.
Yes, Jesus.
But yeah,
And
you
black
gotta cut it down, and so basically the cutoff limit, when your roster needs to really be down to 3 at least. It's this week.
Oh, wait, what?
Tomorrow is
October 1st.
October 1st is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
October 1st
It's
is tomorrow.
I'm late.
And then as soon as October 1st hits, by Halloween,
Come on. Preach.
Don't need to be there.
you had to have locked somebody in for the rest of the season. November is upon you. And you have
November is upon you.
and you have holidays coming in. You can't be buying gifts for everybody. So
Hello.
you have to, Thanksgiving.
Winter.
You might not be going
Winter is
home.
coming. Hashtag.
Winter is
Yes.
coming.
I love
Shout out to
it.
Game of Thrones. But it's about to get real cold.
You gotta have somebody to watch
And
Game of Thrones with.
So
You
what's
have
the
to
deadline?
have-
What's your last deadline?
October 31st.
Halloween, trick or treat.
You gotta have that
There you go.
person locked in.
Them Halloween
And then
parties.
from November all the way to probably April, May-ish.
Because winter's real long.
It's real long in New York.
It is
In
real
April,
long.
that's when they start acting real funny. They start acting real funny.
About Valentine's Day.
Around
They
April.
feel it. They feel it coming.
They feel it coming.
Little horn.
April, they start
And it's
acting
also
real
the
funny.
6-month hump at that point. So if you get over the 6 months, it's probably gonna be something. And if it's not, it's right about to get warm, so you can go and show out, and there's no problem.
You can cut them loose. Like it didn't work out.
Get your sundress game up and keep it moving.
The men in the room were like, "Wait, October to April? It's a long ass time."
That is awesome. The difference between women's perspective and men's perspective.
I thought she was about to say February.
Is that what it is? Because the breakup. Hold on.
February, Valentine's Day.
Yes, Valentine's Day is the We forgot his ladies.
Yes.
Listen.
So it's funny because last year I dated someone during this whole cuffing season calendar. Like I met someone in August. We talked, and then by October it's like, oh, we're in a relationship.
Hey.
And then we got to February. It's like, oh damn it. Now what? Like it's been kind of 6 months since we met and started talking. Like, are we really? Is this about to be a thing?
You know what?
Recertified. Come on, this recertification.
Get your contract renewed.
It's good to have the male perspective
6 months
because it really puts stuff in perspective as a woman.
True.
Because from my point of view, I'm like, okay, April. That's when they start acting funny. But really, they're laying this seed from back in February.
That seed is planted. Mm-hmm.
No, they are laying that seed from back in February. I can speak on experience that seeds are planted well in advance. So by the time it gets to April, you want to be over with his ass too. You're like, it's over. Summertime's coming.
This other nigga been hitting me up anyway.
Right.
It's cutting season at that point.
Hand clap to that. That was good. Good time.
I don't know.
From cuffing season to
cutting season.
Wow.
I love it.
Single again.
So single again. And then
live your best life when it gets
your life
warm.
In the summer, right? The summer.
Naked at La Marina over here.
Yo, all summer.
So here's, I saw this quote the other day and it said, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. So I think the first part is kind of crucial. Attract what you expect. So is that part of the cuffing season aspect? Because, I feel like we were talking about this not that long ago. It's hard to meet somebody in the summer because everybody's kind of just...
Wait, so I just want to... So my perspective is cuffing season is for a seasonal boo. That's how I think about it. I don't think about it as this is going to be a relationship I'm entering into for something that could be something that could later... It has the potential to be something that could be long term, but I would look at any time during the year if I met someone who I was compatible with, where things aligned and we were, things were going well. Cuffing season is irrelevant because that person will be there regardless. But cuffing season to me is I just need somebody who's regular in my life because when it gets cold, I just need somebody who I can quickly dial and who is consistent and will be able to
somewhat of a standard though. Now
This is interesting.
I think it's also an age thing. Because I'm 29 and so my group of friends some of them are in their 30s already and so their perspective on cuffing season is so different from someone who's definitely 25. I hear people saying I'm going to participate in cuffing season this year. It's a actual event. I'm going to participate in it because I'm ready to settle. And I want to see how this is going to work out and if we're going to make it past
it's when the cars are on sale.
This season of, when the summertime comes, am I still going to want to hang out with you or am I going to want to be in these streets?
Right.
So I think you have to know, who you want to hibernate with. Cause you don't want to hibernate with everybody.
Right. So, I don't know. I think it's an age thing and then just a perspective on how you date in general. If you're naturally someone who's, always monogamous and versus someone who literally just, I just need to be around somebody for the season to hold me down until the summertime comes around, So.
I think it's
how do men feel? Okay.
I think it's an expectation thing, right? I feel like a lot of times men and women have different expectations around any or all of it. Cuffing season, cutting season, summer, indie streets, all of it. I feel like men and women have different perspectives and expectations for what the rules are.
Yes.
And I feel like if you communicate about those things early, I think that'll be a lot less heartache and be more helpful to everybody.
Can I be
Go ahead.
I agree.
The answer is I would like to know what everyone's situation is and if you are participating in cuffing season, if you're not, if you I can't with y'all. I wish you saw people's faces in the room. Different actions. People everybody scratching heads, shifting in their seats.
permanent shit.
Taking a drink, like, y'all are really tripping.
Because everybody in the room is single. And I was just interested to see.
Well, why don't you go first since this is your question?
Okay, girl. All right. I'm open with mine.
Maybe.
Yes. So I am currently talking to someone who I actually enjoy his conversation and, you know, us chatting because we are not in the same state. And I travel a lot for my job, so I'm gone pretty much majority of the weekdays. And he is too, so it actually works out. But for that reason, I would say that I am slightly in cuffing season, but if our little spark happened anytime during the year, it would have been what it was. But we have made plans to see each other more than a few times, and it's pretty fresh. So for that reason, I will say, I don't know why I'm over here asking the question. I don't even want to answer.
I don't get it. I
Let's say this as a single person. If you identify as single, no matter who you're talking to, it's always assumed that you could be talking to other people.
Fair.
Now that is great. Yeah.
We can just set that.
Or according to my friend who is engaged, she's still single. According to
some people say they're single till they're married.
Right? So she checks
because on your there's no box for dating. There's no box for engaged. There's no box for the wedding is next month. There's a box for single and married.
That shit I don't agree with.
I don't agree.
There's no box
and we can. Yeah. No. We can stay on topic. So you're talking to somebody and you like this person and it's been, you know, enough time that you've scheduled time to hang out. But, you know, that it just is what it is and it's not really a timing thing in terms of cuffing season.
Right.
Okay, cool.
But at the same time, I can't lie that I don't have something kind of like on the side that I could reach out to at any point in time in the event.
Most people, that's a most people thing.
It's your contingency plan.
Miss Pope?
It's handled.
Oh.
Yes!
Drops mic.
Drops mic. I think that's all we need.
That was everything.
Sexual chocolate.
That was everything. That could not have been better. Like I'm so grateful for you. That was everything.
Yes.
Okay, let me be honest though. So I actually just cut my 6th man yesterday. So
ain't nothing like that, bitch. Sorry.
So I have to figure out what's going on. I think my preseason is a little extended.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're you're working on your top 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
And is 5 a low number, high number? Is that a...
So 5 is just a basketball roster?
No, I'm aware, but I'm just saying in like real life. Like, is that like high or low or regular for people?
I literally think in the context
I guess
of
it depends on
it's the
what your normal
comparison.
dating habit is. Like, if you're, you know, usually on 2-3 dates a week with, you know,
with different people?
Yeah,
that is a lot of...
Yeah,
that's a lot, yo.
It's a lot of taxes.
That much dating takes too much time. Yeah, no one really does.
Whose pockets are supporting that?
I was about to say, that's a lot of
As a man, I'm stressing out for a woman. I'm just like, oh my God, who am I sexing right now? Oh my God. Ooh, I didn't mean to call him boo. Oops, well.
No, that was 20-year-old Sloan.
And I feel like, never mind. Go ahead.
Trying to get these meals.
Young Dre Maker.
Yes, girl.
Let's see. Where am I? Well, I've never really been an active participant in cuffing season. I think it's a little bit artificial. I think it's just something people like to say. You know, but
you gotta be a genuine bro.
I was about to say the same thing.
But I guess you could call me. I'm a free agent right now. I just kind of
yes with the analogy.
Yes, look, I'm loving this shit, right? So I've recently been cut from a team. Not recently. It's 5-6 months ago. So it's like recent enough, but
How long were you on the team?
Ooh, that's now we're getting deep. So.
Well, I'm just saying, being cut from a team that you were only on for a short amount of time.
You were the sole player.
Oh no, yeah, I was the sole player.
Right, like either you're Kobe or you're.
I was Kobe for 2 years, and then there was a space, and then 2 years before that.
Okay.
So cumulatively 4 years being Kobe.
Okay.
It's a long ass time to be Kobe.
Like Mamba.
You sounded like, I was Kobe for a long time. I'm gonna have to be Kobe no more.
Right. But I think ultimately it was a situation where it was just a classic like growing apart kind of thing, and kind of wanted different things.
Like Kobe and Shaq, they just had to split up
Kobe and Shaq, you know, like life stages happen, you know.
So you're a free agent.
I'm a free agent. And so I've kind of just been shopping for teams. Like I'm not really pressed about date, time, month, year, cuffing season, cutting season. It's whoever comes in my life.
Boom.
We'll kind of take it at face value.
Found a little something today too. Hello.
Yeah, we had a little
blast. We don't get there.
Had a little recent meeting. You know, had a recent meeting.
Mind you, he was telling us his story earlier, and like all the ladies in the room were like, "Oh,
right."
I was very excited about
dates
it.
in the damn park and shit.
Yo,
where they do that at?
Here's the thing. Like, I can be very romantic when the time is right. You know what I mean? I love to dote on women for sure. So
teach y'all niggas some lessons, man.
Take notes.
Southern gentlemen. You know what I mean? Like, I want that. I want a woman to dote on. So
I hope y'all are subscribed so you can hear this more than one time.
Yes, I will say this. Difference between dating a man from the South
Agreed.
and dating a man from the North.
Yes.
Yeah. It's basically romance and respect. Sloan, go ahead.
No, Viola Davis. The only difference between
exactly is opportunity. Go ahead.
So
that was amazing.
I can honestly say I've always controlled this season, whether I called it cuffing season or whether it was just me living my life. I've always controlled what's going on in any kind of dating or any kind of season in my life. Mm-hmm. So I guess this would be my first quote unquote cuffing season where I'm not in a relationship. I'm not dating anyone, nor do I want to date anyone. Like, I'm not like, I need to find me a date or anything like that. Not really this season. I just don't feel that way. Previous seasons, like, it was definitely something I controlled, and I gave you a yes or no answer as to whether or not we are cuffing or we're not cuffing. Like, because I tell the story, like, guys, like, one guy had asked me, like, can I be your go-to person for the cuffing season?
It's so laid out.
You know, we don't have to have sex or anything like that. Oh. We could just cuddle and...
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
I could just be, I'll just be there and pretty much Netflix and really chill.
I love it.
You want.
And now the men are squirming in their seats.
Because every guy that I told us, they was like, he's not a real man. He
Netflix and no chill.
Yeah.
What?
Netflix and real chill.
Real chill.
Netflix by
real chill. And though I really thought he just really wanted to come over to do his laundry. But no, we tried it and it just felt really weird because it didn't feel genuine. It was the setup. We set aside time to cuddle and just have that human interaction that I guess neither
So it was
of us,
on a schedule.
Yeah, are you free this evening?
He'll be in your bed?
Yeah.
See, I can't have nobody else
Are
in my
you free
bed
this
like that.
evening?
You in this bed, you about to get
spent over. But yeah,
we grown.
That was one season of cuffing, and then the other seasons I was always in some kind of relationship, so it wasn't even a thought to cuff or not to cuff.
See, I can identify with that because I've been a serial monogamous. So I've always been in a relationship.
We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. As women, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I never had the option really. You know what I mean? So now it was never a thing, and now's
your time to shine.
Now's my time.
Yeah.
It's my time to shine.
I have nothing to say on this subject.
Oh, you have all the things to say. You got some shit to say.
You instigated everybody else, but you ain't got.
Because I don't have anything to say. I'm not on a roster. I'm not looking for teams. I'm not.
We've discussed this asexual.
I haven't been recently cut from a team. I have not.
So me and Dee always had this thing about her being asexual.
I don't have no extraordinary skill. I don't score 40 points a game.
What is skill? What is skill analogy for? What?
A particularly
no, I'm not out here. My social life isn't conducive for me to be
okay.
That's what I mean. I'm just chilling.
That's self-aware.
You gotta create it though. You gotta create it. My mentor, she's the biggest. You have to create these situations, and I think that's why.
Really.
My ex jokes about this because he was like, I feel like every time I ask you something, I feel like you're in a boardroom with constituent, and then you come back with an answer because you have to create these things you can say whether or not you're gonna be, you know, on someone's team or not on someone's team. Like, you can make it happen for yourself.
So let me rephrase. Maybe I wasn't as honest.
Being honest.
I'm not talking to anybody. I don't care that much.
But D is the most chill, laid back, relaxed, but focus on like real important stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Type of person. Like,
I'm kind of, I don't know.
You're a rare breed. And I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
I think there's also something to be said about like focusing on you. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you
so
know, some
they
people
know.
don't
So
have
here's the
time
thing.
for
Like
couple
Dre,
seasons. They're doing
exactly.
their own.
Dre and Steve
working on
understand
yourself.
me as a person. Like, my social life is mostly like I do a lot of volunteering. I literally work and volunteer. I'm in school right now. Like, I'm doing things for myself, and I'm not really actively participating. Not necessarily by choice, but just by circumstance. And I'm okay with that circumstance.
Right.
So,
and you're being fulfilled by other things.
And
I'm being fulfilled by other things. That's a very good way to put it. And I'm also just like not necessarily. I feel like you guys are all, and this is no shade at all.
We're old.
You guys are older, so it's different. Like you were saying, like your friends in your 30s see it differently. Like you guys are.
Are we
late,
looking? Right.
Right. Like you guys are in your late 20s.
No.
Generally.
Okay.
Like I'm not. So I just. It's different. Like the quote pressure is not on me at all to be looking, to figure it out.
That's
like
freeing.
I just don't. I'm not actively thinking about it. I guess. So I mean, like I see a good looking person, I'm like, oh, they're cute. But I'm not like, oh, I need to go find somewhere that they'll be. It's just like, I'll see you when I see you.
I will say there's a lot of truth to that because we joke about cuffing season, but I'm looking for like substance.
Yeah.
Like, I really need some substance because I'm at the age, like you said, where I think about it, I would like for it to turn into more. Beyond the April, May time frame.
I feel like the 6 month cuffing to cutting is not what I'm looking for anyway.
Exactly.
And so you have to know, and so we've talked about this, C and I have talked about this, you have to know what you're going to attract. And you don't want to be in a position where you're going to attract someone who's only looking for something you're not looking for.
Fair.
Now we get real.
Completely.
Generally speaking, I'm just like, especially people my age, I'm not thinking about like actually being in long-term relationships past the cuffing. So it's kind of like I'd much rather
pointing people out.
Yeah, I'd much rather chill and do me and wait until the right thing comes through than to like try and fit the schedule and then be just like disappointed.
I respect it.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
All right.
And young Cornell.
So my franchise player just moved. They got
Got traded.
I'm so sorry.
Got traded or moved?
They just moved.
Okay.
That's
two different
That's a
things.
different thing.
That
Okay.
always sucks.
Oh,
So they
man.
relocated. So I haven't even built my roster yet. I mean, I've had some attempts. People have tried to get on my team, but I haven't.
This is some long time.
I'm now hearing you talk for the first time. You are from New York. Okay, continue.
Is this a
Jersey?
So in other news, so how long was this franchise
It
player?
was always on and off, and then like last year we made it like official during like Valentine's
Oh,
like 2014 or 2015.
Day. 15.
Oh,
This
okay.
year.
So this year.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
year.
But now so are you in a long distance relation?
Nah, cut it off because I don't think it's weird.
How far away? I'm
Far,
trying to
like
get you.
y'all the same age?
Huh?
Y'all the same age?
She's a little younger than me.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did she move to?
California.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Listen, look.
I know that story.
I was in a long distance relationship when I say that shit. I mean, I only had 4 hours, but I mean, that's different.
You got time zones.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got time.
Hold on,
jet lag.
time out. Yeah, California is far as hell.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Why she move out there? No, I'm kidding.
To chase her dream.
Yeah, you want to go to school.
See, yeah,
part
you
of
know
Cali?
what? Like, that's
She's
like
LA, so LA.
Okay.
Is she black?
So she might not be thinking about
Go
you
ahead, Black
either.
Excellence.
That's good. You gotta let them free. And then,
Yeah.
If they come back, there's like a bunch of, isn't there a Marcus Houston song called Circle?
It's
Something
mad-
like if
it's
they come
mad
back
quotes
to you,
about that.
something. Every R&B song.
Who
Yeah.
knows Marcus Houston?
Oh, wait a minute. I was a fan of Marcus Houston back then.
Go home, Roger. Don't forget about that.
That one hit song though.
2003, come on.
With the chopped and screwed.
wait, what happened?
Yeah, they had a DJ Screw like version.
That girl?
No, some other
That was
song.
my
Anyway,
Immature?
Anyway, no, Marcus Houston. That song is popping. Okay.
Not Circle. I know what you're talking about. I know what song you're
I
talking
do
about.
like, Naked.
It's a Howard
not naked.
classic. Okay. So
Wait,
what's the name?
where did y'all go to school? Just sorry, quick roster.
Classic.
Where'd y'all go to school?
Howard University.
UVA. Go Who's Go.
Rutgers.
Georgia State.
Spelman College.
The University of Virginia.
Hey!
Wahoo Wah.
What? Wait, I'm sorry. What y'all? What?
We have two mascots.
Wahoo Wah.
We have the Cavaliers and the Wahoos.
Yes.
So Wahoos are a fish
What is a Wahoo?
that can drink twice their weight.
What? Why does the fish drink?
Why is that a mascot?
Well, they're in the ocean.
Because they're on the
What are they
Chesapeake
drinking?
So it's just a joke. Like the tech. What is tech? They are the Hokies. And,
The Hokies.
They're the Hokies.
And by tech, you don't mean Georgia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
But I mean, like it's like
I know.
Yeah, they're the Hokies.
it's a little competition between.
I'll actually
UVA
be at Virginia
and
Tech next week.
And
Funny
basically,
enough.
that UVA
Blacksburg.
like drinks, twice
Twice
as much
as the Virginia Tech kids.
Such is life. UVA taught me. So,
That's good.
so that was. Are you done? That was your question. Was the answer sufficiently for you?
Your perspective.
Okay.
I always wanted. So listen, I had no interest whatsoever. Completely not interested at all in any type of HBCU experience when going to college.
Me neither.
And
today, I wish I went to an HBCU.
Right. So mainly because. Right. So mainly because I am from Atlanta. So listen up, y'all.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm from Atlanta, and my mother went to Spelman. Got her undergrad. She went to Clark and got her master's. And she was actively involved in her alumni programs. And so was I.
Does she agree?
Because my mother's an educator. So I was at all the alumni events. I was at all the extracurricular enrichment programs as a middle schooler and high schooler. So I felt like me going to like Spelman or anything in the AUC, Atlanta University Center, would be like going to the 13th grade. So for me, I was like, I ain't going. And my mom applied for me to go to Spelman, and I got in. However that happened. Didn't even pay the registration fee, girl. Got into Spelman. And I was like, no, I'm going to the University of Georgia.
But that's not
Went to the University of Georgia and got tired of white people. Brought my ass back to Atlanta.
Interesting.
Went to Georgia State. And I lived in these apartments right by Spelman and Morehouse.
I never heard this story.
And then that's when I discovered homecoming. That's when I discovered how you learn about the Black experience, traditions. It felt good to be Black.
So I think where you started though is you didn't want to be too close to where everyone else went. Like your idea of the 13th grade is similar, I think, everywhere. Like for us in Jersey, it was like going to schools like going to the schools down the shore. It's like all considered like the 13th grade for us. So I think that's like a common shared thing. Mm-hmm. Now that I read way more Black literature, I feel like, damn, if I had gone to an HBCU, I would have thrived. But I didn't realize that. Like me, I think me now would thrive at an HBCU as opposed to me before. Like me in high school, coming out of high school, I was like.
But I was. Do you? So my own.
I don't regret it. UVA.
Okay.
No. UVA was definitely the best experience I could have had at the time. I would not trade that because I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be an engineer. There's just things that I wouldn't.
And she's smart. Oh, she got money. Yes.
She got money though. She bought the Lord.
Are we gonna go a full? I thought we were gonna go a full episode without you coming for me. So anyway, I just don't think I would have been an engineer. I think I would have done things a lot differently if I had gone to an HBCU. So I'm happy that I
think the desire is less too when you live in the North. You don't want to go to the South.
Oh, really?
Oh, I totally understand that.
Really?
I mean,
it's a different culture.
UVA is definitely the most South school I applied to.
I thought that Northerners wanted to be in the South because, think about boys they come down.
I want to go to your homecoming. I want to go to games.
But you wouldn't want to go to
live there.
Everybody want to be there.
They think it's too slow.
They think it's
very slow. Like Charlottesville is slow for me. Like I felt.
Well, Charlottesville is slow for anybody.
It's slow for anybody.
I'm from Virginia originally.
Okay, so but I mean in general, like I feel like I remember. So my grandmother's from Virginia, and when I told her I got into UVA, she freaked out. She was like, "You can't go back down there." Literally, she was like, "We fought so hard to get out of the South. Like, why would you go back to the South?" And that's like a mindset of people in the North who have come out of that
Great Migration,
come out of that kind of mindset. Like, she was really upset that I was going to UVA. And it just was like
real ish.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I didn't really. That was the southernmost school I applied to, and I'm happy I went. But it was definitely like a different mindset coming from the North.
I was kind of the reverse. So I went to UVA, and my parents, believe it or not, went to UVA. And
you better be legacy.
I had like aunts and uncles and cousins that went there too, so it was a bit of a like pioneering kind of thing. But yeah, so they went in the 70s, so like among the first Black entering classes at UVA. So for me, it was kind of a sense of pride, like my parents and my uncles and aunts, like they kind of like pioneered in a sense, and so I kind of like felt a sense of pride with doing that, and so. being from Atlanta, I wanted to get out of Georgia because I knew I was kind of a sheltered kid, grew up, kind of in the church and very sheltered and whatnot. So I kind of wanted to grow up, for lack of better words. And I feel like getting out of state was kind of my ticket to do that. So Howard was actually the northernmost school I applied to. So I was kind of the reverse. Like I kind of wanted to still be, I wanted to still have easy access to home, but be far enough away.
Yeah. I didn't apply. I only applied to one HBCU because my guidance counselor applied me. And it was to Hampton, and I got in with a full ride, but I heard so many negative things about Hampton.
Really?
Those things don't even pass my mind.
I mean,
like y'all shaking your head.
In terms of the HUs, I would choose Howard, but again, I'm not in that world.
But
so
literally,
I
wasn't in that world. Like all I knew was people were not speaking highly of Hampton the way they were about Spelman, about Howard. So I was just kind of like, why would I had no context. I literally had no context, so I just didn't,
Because the thing I always get is, well, why didn't you apply to Morehouse? Like what's wrong with you almost for not applying to Morehouse?
Right, and I'm like,
well, listen.
Why didn't you?
Well, because it was the whole, I didn't want to go to school in my backyard kind of thing. I didn't want my parents popping up on me.
Yeah. I didn't want my mom okay, let's to spell that.
Right, you're not living in the dorms.
Real quick. Just say where you're from. I'm from Jersey.
Atlanta.
No, I'm from Virginia.
Atlanta.
I grew up in Atlanta.
Oh,
y'all said cities and we said states.
Because Atlanta is Atlanta.
Right.
Where'd you go from?
And Jersey is Jersey.
Yeah. I say a state because you would not know the city.
Where in Virginia?
I guarantee you right now.
Oh, we all know that.
No,
where's Manassas?
I don't know nothing about Manassas.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Because for those
Nova means Northern Virginia. She's from Nova.
Yeah.
We're from Central Jersey.
703. Pull one out for 703.
At 703.
571. Come on, you know.
For those of us who are confused, I'm with you.
So
area codes in
Virginia. In Virginia, people rep their area codes.
It's a huge.
I had no idea. I remember being at the first step show I was ever at.
757.
Like 7-5. I was like, who the hell is a 7-5?
Really?
And it's basically South Virginia. It's Hampton and North
Tidewater area, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach. My mom's from there.
Virginia, so it's there's 7-5, then there's 804, which is.
I'll be in Roanoke next week.
That's also
and
7-5.
Blacksburg, Virginia.
That's also 7-5.
No, Christiansburg, Virginia, and also be in West Virginia.
4-4. I think this Charlottesville.
Roanoke?
This is actually a thing.
I don't even know.
I don't know. And Richmond is 804, and then Northern Virginia.
My limited experience.
The fact that I know all the area codes of all of Virginia.
Exactly, and I'm not from. You know what I mean?
We don't. It just was a weird thing.
I know 703.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how we got on.
We got on topic because we're talking about basically
black experience.
Black experience, yeah. And so what I will say is that because I pledged, I was able to fulfill that need because Georgia State is an amazing school, all that good jazz. You can be actively involved or not actively involved, and it'll explain what your experience will be. But because I pledged and I was able to go on other campuses and get that black experience, it helped me all right, now I feel like I got that experience. But otherwise, I would have really felt like I missed out. What
is a black experience?
And that's the thing.
Regionally, that's important.
For us, I don't even, when I say I'm going to college, I don't even separate HBCU from regular school. It's just go to school. Whatever the best school is on that rank, I go to that school.
See,
we don't
that's
feel like
a northern.
And especially being from Jersey because we don't have any HBCUs near us.
Yeah.
So there's no connection to that quote black experience.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Because there's nothing Rutgers are state school.
Yeah. Black experience for us is where you live. If you live in Elizabeth, you live in Newark, you live in the Oranges, you in the black experience.
Right.
That's your HBCU right there. And then everywhere else is the suburbs, and you get to visit the black experience. It's not the same.
And it's interesting. You have 3 people from Atlanta with 3 different perspectives on it. Because for me, my whole thing was, I'm from Atlanta. I know us. I've been around black people. I don't need that in my college experience necessarily. Mm-hmm. And I was used to a diverse kind of schooling anyway. So from 4th through high school, I
Mama put you in that magnet.
I was in the magnet. So I was.
But what is diversity when you say I was in a diverse school? Because my school was the makeup. They made a big point about it. It was 36% black, 30-something% white, and then every other culture you could possibly think of was melted into the school. And so they're like, you guys go to such a diverse school and da-da-da-da-da. But the curriculum is not diverse. I'm not getting, Black literature that I got and found out about when I stepped onto Howard campus. I'm not getting, our history from a perspective that's not Eurocentric, that I never knew existed because it was never taught to me.
So we grew up in a world where we learn about white. We're conditioned. We learn specifically about white people, and I was talking to one of my mentees the other day, Jasmine, and she was like, we only learn about the winners. She was like, world history starts with the Romans and not with the Mayans and the Egyptians.
Right. Wow.
And, U.S. history starts with Christopher Columbus and not the Native Americans. And she was like really breaking some shit down to me. And I was looking at her like,
girl, you smart.
You is smart. You is kind. You is beautiful. I was just like, go ahead, talk about it. And it was really interesting. Like we, and that's why now I think I do better at an HBCU than me in high school because I've embraced a lot more about Black culture.
Because you woke.
I woke. I also read a lot, and I've like kind of just decided that I was going to learn more about Black people as a history.
I'll tell you what, like the first, I remember calling my dad after the first full week of classes, and so this is what English 101 or whatever. And I remember I wrote a paper. And so everyone that usually goes to Howard, they're the Black people, obviously. We have white people, we have Asians too.
Exactly.
You're usually the top of your class from wherever you came from.
Right.
And so to have a professor send back a paper and it was like, you gotta see, you're not thinking deep enough about Blackness. It was kind of depressing because I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Like, no, this is a great paper. And she's like, you're not thinking deep enough about your Blackness.
What is that though?
That's incredible.
And exactly. I'm like, what is?
Because if you're
Blackness
from a place where you don't experience Blackness to you is different than somebody that lives
Like
your reality is real.
What is she?
Your Blackness is your Blackness is unique to you.
Right. And so, I sat there and I was like, really like, have I been brainwashed this whole time in my thought process of how I see things? And because it wasn't just that one class, it was every class. Like, it's biology class. They have a Black spin to it that I never really got before. Yeah, every single class. Like, and then you go into
and everything is a haze.
Did you read the book Between the World and Me?
No, I haven't read it yet.
So he went to Howard. So I think you'll appreciate it just more.
Oh, that's definitely on my
okay, good. Because he refers to Howard as the Mecca, and he talks about how.
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, everyone does, but I mean, like he talks.
When I got to graduation, I totally have the understanding of why we're called the Mecca and why.
And he talks about his experience and how
what it is, but like when I first got there, it opened my consciousness. Like I've been hoodwinked.
Your whole life.
And I'm an immigrant. I'm Jamaican. We came to this country, and as an immigrant, you have this. Your family has a perspective as to how life is supposed to be here in America. What you should, strive for. What is successful. What is not successful. How you should be. How you should act, and etc. And so, for me to even make the choice to go to Howard, it did draw division in our household because my father.
I was just gonna say, go into a little bit.
He's an engineer for Cisco, and he's very polished. Not saying white is right. That's not how he feels, but he's like he wanted me to go to. He's like, you can get at any university. Why do you want to just limit yourself to a Black university? And then my mom is more so. Like, well, no, Howard's a really great school because, I don't know, West Indians, like, Howard is, like, huge in the West Indies. Like, everyone, they see it as, like, you can go to Harvard, you can go to Howard. It's one and the same.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I remember.
And you were born there? I'm sorry.
I was born in Jamaica. Oh, wow. And so, I remember when my grandfather passed away, and I have older siblings on my father's side, and one of my sisters, she was like, they're like, where are you applying for school? And she was like, Howard. And I was like 5. And they made such a big deal at the funeral. They were like, oh my God, she's going to Howard. And so it like stuck in my head like, oh, well, when it's my turn, I'm going to apply to Howard because this is a very big deal to our entire family and blah, 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 blah. So when I got in, I had never visited the school, one. So I didn't know I was going into
the hood
of, no, I just knew that it was a very big deal to my entire family that you apply and you get in, and this is where you become like a woman or whatever. Wow. And so when I got there and the first week I just realized I thought I knew so much and I don't even know anything about myself. As a Black person living in this country, I don't know anything about myself. I don't know how I'm supposed to navigate through the lens of opportunity. I can go do all these things and I can apply for these jobs and everything, but we have it 10 times harder than the next person when we're trying to take regular steps that they would take and everything. Right. And so the school definitely taught us how to navigate through that and no, these are our rules and these are the rules that we're going to play with. And this is your background that now you're being taught, and you are built to do this and you are built to, and I'm sure you could attest for that for Spelman, it really opens you up and you're no, there is Black excellence and this is our history, and these are our books that I've never been taught, but now I get to read them and everything. So I don't know.
That's interesting. So
sorry, I have a question for you two, and I guess also you, because when I grew up, I felt like HBCUs weren't realistic in the sense that
right. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to function in just Black society.
Right.
So why go to a college that isn't a function of your realistic life,
the real world,
the real world. Do you
function as a Black woman?
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I was about to say. So for me, I think Spelman took it just a little step further for me. Not only did it wake me up as a Black person, it woke me up as a Black woman. Because I grew up in the suburbs of Virginia, right outside of D.C. Both my parents worked for the government. My high school was 60% white, and then, a small percentage Black, and then every other thing that you could think of. And even though, I was just I felt suffocated almost by it's just too many white people. I needed to get somewhere where I could figure out who I am as a Black woman. And I didn't even know that that's what I wanted. I think at the time I was just craving Blackness. Mm-hmm. But when I got to Spelman and we took classes like African Diaspora in the World or Comparative Women's Studies, which the entire class was about how Black women are viewed in the media, how we're represented in books, how people look at us, how we're objectified, and how not only how we're objectified as just being women, but, how there's a whole other spin on it being a Black woman, there's a difference in the way people look at Black women versus white women. So it's yes, I can go into these corporate environments that are dominated by white people, but who am I as a Black woman, and how can I let my Blackness shine in this environment, And I feel like Spelman really brought me to a place where I appreciate who I am, and I'm able to grasp what are my strengths as a Black woman, and how can I project that into the rest of the world? So that's what I think you get from an HBCU that you will not get. That white schools cannot prepare you in that way,
and they don't care about preparing you.
They don't care about preparing.
I was seeking Black excellence because my whole entire high school career was, and my family can definitely attest to
white
this,
excellence.
Was downplaying my smartness.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted to feel accepted. And I spent the whole, I would downplay any kind of achievement in my circle of friends because I just didn't feel like I could relate to them, or I'd look weird if, I cared about knowing about culture. I cared about traveling. I cared about leaving Gwinnett County and living somewhere else. You know what I mean? I didn't apply to any school in Georgia.
Wow.
At all. Because I wanted to expand. I wanted to challenge myself as a person. I can go live anywhere and make it happen, and this is what it's going to be. So
I'm gonna give a really quick, because I love the perspectives. So I am an African first generation kid. So my experience growing up in so first of all, my parents born and raised in Africa. My oldest brother born in Africa. Me and my middle brother came and were born in Atlanta, Georgia. Grady Homes.
Grady, baby.
Projects, baby. baby. I'm talking about like back in the day when mom and daddy didn't know any better. So like my black experience of like, I had to learn African American culture outside the home.
Love it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that in my home. My home was like very rural, like traditional conservative Christian parents who are African. They didn't understand African American culture. You know what I'm saying? So I yearned to get like African American culture. And my immediate African American culture was hood niggas outside my crib.
So I just want to say real quick, like there's three different things that we're talking about here. There's being an immigrant and coming from like first generation and being, you know, Caribbean American or African American, and then there's like, you know, just being born here, being of a certain descent that influence you, and then there's also just being Black American, and all those things are different. Like I think people fail to realize that there are different
Black experiences.
Right, and it just being Black American is different from Black person, but also being from an island or being from Africa are also like have their own cultures and have their own upbringings that I don't think are highlighted at all in society, but it's good that we're noting the differences. So sorry, I just wanted to
it's good to like point, because like
diaspora.
One thing that I noticed is like, so I grew up in like, so perspective wise, as far as being an African growing up in Atlanta, there wasn't a lot of people who were like, I think my parents came before it became cool. Not cool, but there was a lot more access to come to America from Africa. So like, we were the only ones being called African booty scratchers, being told we were like, I'm talking about hood nigga, like really horrible,
oh my God,
really bad,
like Africa shaming
jokes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it was shameful to be from Africa when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like I did not want anyone else to know, so I would have like grabbed the African American culture because I wanted to be like all my friends and be like everybody else.
And now you rep Kenya so hard though.
But no, but it wasn't even just now, but like it was a trajectory, right? Like that's what I grew up in, right? Mm-hmm. So then my parents, because they are traditional immigrant lifestyle, they saved up all their coins and we moved to the suburbs. So we moved to the suburbs. Now I'm around not just poor Black people, but poor white people and poor Asians. And even if you don't know Atlanta, there's this place called South Atlanta. And it's on the border of Clayton County, which has Mexicans, Blacks, whites, Asians, and we all poor. So irrelevant of that, like that was the I mean, it was a suburb compared to growing up in Great House, Capitol House, baby. Yes, you might be poor, but you live in a house though.
Right. Yeah.
So like that turned into, okay, now I'm going to a school that's 50 miles away because my mom wants to get me out of like the school there in our district. So now I'm being exposed to like white people, right? But white people don't look at me as being an African American. They look at me as being an African. So they feel very free in conversation to be their true selves around just, she's not, she's not a nigga.
She's not
a nigga. She's not So my experience growing up was like seeing white people in that light. And then when I became conscious, I became a lot more disgruntled and upset and wanted to start like educating my friends that I grew up with. Like, that's not okay to say, like, because if you don't care about a person, you're not going to educate them on, it's not okay to say the N-word. But then when you actually do, it's like, nah, I want to let you know it's not okay to say, at least around me. I know your ass going to say it.
That's part of the dynamic, though. It's like Africans get treated, like in society, Africans get treated different than African Americans, than Caribbean Americans, and just Black Americans. Which is horrible. Yeah.
So, like, bring it full circle. When I went to college, my parents are like, you need to go to a really good school. And by good school, it means a very big, diverse, like, university, right? Yeah. Like, granted, my parents are very much like, they appreciate African American culture. I grew up in Atlanta, Dr. King, civil rights movement, all that. My mom went to two HBCUs. So that was never something I was shamed on. But like for me, I was like, I want to go be at a big university. I want to go to the University of Miami. And then when I realized the Black experience of what I was missing out on, I was like, shit, I'm about to shoot. Let me. Why did I choose this school in the first place? Yeah, because I think once you are in the experience, whether it's Howard, Hampton, Spelman, Morehouse, Clark. Rest in peace to Morris Brown.
Yeah, right?
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you appreciate that experience. And I know for me personally, I was just like, I get it now. It was like, I get it. It was like light bulb.
If I can play devil's advocate just a little bit, the Black consciousness thing and the Black experience thing, I guess like, in a way, in a weird, twisted, subversive way, I think you also get a consciousness going to a white school. Because what I think happens is you realize that you are indeed a minority, and you kind of get to see how privilege and how you know, to be a little sensational, how white people act in their normal habitat.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, and I think that there's almost a different consciousness that wokes you from experiencing that. So, like, we experience on-campus racism.
Right.
We, you know, so
who was homie that got beat up?
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
So if we wanted, say, you know, the black perspective of media, we had to take African American studies classes.
Right.
And it was this one department that catered to our, you know,
and
interests.
We were exposed only to the history of the university in the sense that, you know, the Office of African American Affairs was the main slave house.
Slave house.
But that sounds diminishing to me instead of empowering. Like, you know, to see yourself as a minority and see how white people act in their own environment, that doesn't...
Well, I think it's empowering in the sense, in the same way that the civil rights movement was empowering, right? I mean, if you have to operate in an environment where you have to sort
constantly advocate and fight
for your case to be there and sort of like always kind of show up for us, if you're in that situation 24/7, it gives you kind of an extra layer
and a different kind of strength. Right?
It's a different kind of strength. And I think there's also value and empowerment that comes from being a pioneer in that space too.
Right.
So if you're like one of few black people, if you're one of 30, 100, 1,000 black people, I think there's also value in having to be a pioneer. I think it's just a different set of equipment. You know what I mean?
I hear you, and I think that there's validity in what you're saying. However, I also don't believe that everybody's a pioneer. I don't think a lot of people are a pioneer, and I don't think there's a lot of people that are in white schools that are going to take that approach. What they're going to do is they're going to try to fit in. They're going to try to, you know what I'm saying? They're going to try to assimilate. They're going to try to.
Well, I don't agree. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because you go to those schools.
Here's what's happening when you go.
Once you step in, segregation happens.
Yes.
Like when I first went to my freshman dorm. Yeah. The dudes, I had my do-rag on because I'm fresh out of the. You know, all my family lives in the hood, so I'm fresh.
Everybody got the do-rag on.
We all
have do-rags. I had my do-rag on.
Basketball shorts?
No, I had G's on.
Okay. Excuse me.
White tee?
G's and Timbs, because you know I was going to work and put stuff in the room. The dressers were on opposite sides of the room. I went down to get my stuff again. By the time I got back up, the dressers were in the middle of the room. So his bed was on one side and my bed was on the other side.
Wow.
So from then on, you know, okay, now I'm dealing with this person who's from Pennsylvania. He's a racist, right? And then when you go to school, you go look for your first friend. Your first friend is probably going to be your black friend.
Yeah.
Somebody else that came from like Central Jersey, Northern Jersey.
Identify with.
Yeah, that you identify with. And that just carries on because then you start going to the black parties. And then you start going to these black fraternities and sororities. Yeah. And now it's black Rutgers, white Rutgers. It's a division. And you just have to realize it. But when you get to class, now it turns different. So this is like what I kind of realized when I was in school.
Different. Socialization versus like
academics.
Yeah, academics. Yeah.
It'll always be different.
Because I'm in a business school, and the same people I made friends with when I was in my dorm are not present in my class.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
And that's always going to be true for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, not always. Let me rephrase. That has been true for us growing up and was true for us in college.
Right.
I think, to your point, not everybody's a pioneer. But especially at UVA, everybody had to advocate for themselves. Like, you couldn't be at that school and be complacent with your blackness. And that is something I think the university isn't really responsible for, but it creates that sort of environment. Like, I don't know any black people who weren't advocating for themselves at some point during their time there. And I think to Dre's point, it builds some sort of skill set that allows you to become a stronger person in your blackness. That's all. I don't think that it's exclusive.
And I don't think either way is right or wrong. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just different experiences that maybe help equip you to the same outcome. Maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
I get what you're saying, but. And I can only speak on my own experiences and the people that I deal with, you know, at work on a day-to-day. And, you know, Howard, it breeds Stokely Carmichaels. And
Explain for people who don't know.
Stokely, he basically is like one of the founders of the Black Panthers, and you know, it breeds a sense. I mean, there's a level of, I can't really explain. I can't put it into words. There's a level of consciousness that I have, and a level of respect that I didn't have when I initially started for just myself as a Black person, to where I am now, you know, several years out of Howard as an alum, and even going from Howard to grad school to a predominantly white, very class-centered graduate school. Went to NYU, Wagner. We really don't exist. You know, I'd look in the classroom and it'd be me and another Black person pretty much for every class. And me never feeling threatened in the situation. I never felt like, you know, oh man, I'm the only, you know, Black person here. I can't speak up. I can't do this. I can't do that. Because my experience at Howard prepared me to feel like I can walk anywhere and be me and be free and show Black excellence. And if you have a problem with it, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And so it even goes to work, like where people be like, oh, you know, such and such, you know, they feel threatened by, you know, Black people who speak up in meetings and all that kind of stuff and everything. Whereas me, I'll speak up in any meeting because my voice needs to be heard. Yeah, my voice needs to be heard, and it's not a Black-white thing for me. It's a human thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to speak. You are going to listen. This is how it works, and it's on you to not listen. But I'm still gonna be me. Yeah. So this is I don't even see them, you know, like.
And I guess let me just say real quick. Sorry. Okay, yeah. I just want to say, like, this is a very good example of how Black experience can be different across the board, right? Because we all have been trained different ways at our universities, and maybe we all came out in the same way, and maybe we all came out differently, but we all have certain skills now and certain confidences that have allowed us to be successful in what we're doing. There's definitely no right or wrong. There's more of it's just how your experience is, and that we're just trying to build on that as opposed to compare and
for sure
see who's better or whatever the case. Yeah. Like this is not a competitive like argument. This is more of a shared experience.
We're just all different people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know Sorry. I mean? So go ahead.
Well, no, and I was just gonna say, I think from what you just described, Sloan, I feel like it. I almost sort of feel like it's different pathways to the same outcome, maybe, because I feel like all those things that you mentioned, I also felt like I got from UVA. Like I gained the confidence to speak up, and because it's almost like kind of like psychology a little bit. So like positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. So it's almost like at an HBCU you get positive reinforcement, right? You get the enriching experience, you get the nurturing, you get the you get to learn about yourself and all those things. But the negative reinforcement from a predominantly white school
is a learning experience.
It still is a learning experience, and you can potentially get the same thing from that experience.
Yes, like we're not naive. Like don't think like because we're there and we're in this all Black situation that we're naive that these things we know it exists.
Okay. Yeah.
If it didn't exist, we wouldn't need HBCUs. So we know it exists.
Right.
But yeah, I do think it's more so a positive reinforcement and Black love and self-awareness versus.
I get amazed people don't know what HBCU means.
Girl, that's
living in Jersey, you
don't hear it.
That's
real.
You gotta remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I always try to see both sides of every coin, I guess you would say. Yeah. And I hear everybody talking about their own individual Black experience, and I hear what you're saying about how it's different paths to the same thing. And I can't help but think, like, at predominantly white institutions, at HBCUs, there's still, like, people who make it and people who don't, no matter where you are. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I think that both of these environments, you can get different things, and they can be very different paths to the same place. Or, it can be positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement, but there's still a certain level of individualism. Like you have to have it. You know what I'm saying? To receive it and know what to do with it, regardless of where you are. And to your point earlier about the quote that you read off when we were talking about cuffing season, and about I'm gonna misquote it. I already know, but attracting what you expect. I think.
Right. Yeah.
I think that the reason why we're all able to sit here and have this conversation, and why there's a certain level of at least initial chemistry between the people at this table is because we got it. You know what I'm saying? We understand. We know what we were supposed to get from these situations and how to handle it and how to conduct ourselves and how to translate that and apply that to whatever situation you're in. I don't believe that that's everyone, and I don't believe I don't think it matters where you went to school, if you went to school or not. There is still a certain level of you either got it or you don't.
Yo, so let me tell you something. I honestly didn't learn anything from college. Other than the fact of how to balance my time. I will tell you the fundamental things that have helped me in my trajectory of where I am.
How can you
now.
say that when you transferred? You learned a lot from college.
I learned a smart person can do work. Give me a project.
No. I'm not talking about academically. I'm talking about your experience as a whole.
No, I'm giving you facts.
Okay.
I majored in public relations. That's what public relations is right now. I don't know. I took some classes on it. I know a lot of cases that don't relate to anything that I do right now. But fundamentally, what has really shaped and morphed me was an internship program that I did. Okay. They gave me real life experience from the time that I was in my senior year of high school to the time I graduated. So I was working in corporate America at the age of 17. And honestly, Delta taught me really how to time management. I didn't think it was physically possible to not have sleep for 2 weeks. But I did it, you know what I'm saying, on top of juggling classes, and I don't play about GPA. A bitch still had a 3.7. So
shout out to
thing,
NPHC.
Hello. But my thing is from college, I could do the work. College was easy to me. You know what I'm saying? And fundamentally, what it really taught me is how to manage my time and how to be on time for shit. Because I'm on African time, just to be very clear. I'm always late, y'all. I'm always late. What time you start?
I thought Haitians were bad. Haitians, we got
you Haitian?
We got a 1 hour and a half.
Oh no, baby. No, it's about a good 3 to 4 hour
3 to 4 hours.
Baby,
the wedding party started at 6. We didn't start till 9.
Till 9. Sound about right?
And then the first half an hour is a money dance.
Yeah. Oh, they're Nigerian. Okay, yeah. So Nigeria's in a whole other spectrum. I can't.
No. I can't with you.
You just go expecting a full day of events. But yeah, I would say for me, college, it was cool. It was fun. I met a lot of people, but fundamentally, I didn't get the same values that you all are speaking about. So, and that's kind of what my premise of saying that was.
You majored in public relations. What job major in?
With a minor in Spanish. And I had to go out of the country to get my Spanish on, get my international experience on, which led me to now visit 34 countries.
I support it.
Go ahead.
Absolutely support it.
Just so there's some context for that, because I think everyone learns something different based on their academics. Specifically me.
I traveled abroad my senior year because
that ain't what your academic was. Go ahead, Miss Pope. Miss Pope, go ahead. What was your major?
I got my degree in computer science with a minor in math.
Hey, engineering. Whoa, STEM. Hey, STEM.
Hey, STEM.
Black women in STEM. I love it.
Hey, I didn't know
all
that.
About it.
Hey.
I was just. Go ahead.
Business with concentrations in marketing and management.
Biology and then chemistry minor.
Hey,
girl.
What did you do in grad school?
Health policy. And management.
You're so fancy.
I was engineering science with concentrations in systems engineering and applied math.
That's mouthful.
Business. I don't know what that means.
I don't need
business analytics and information technology with a minor in computer science.
Y'all better right now. I'm over here writing papers, so listen.
Right. I'm giving presentations and pitches.
Y'all got real jobs that require skill.
Hey,
I just be showing up.
I just be showing up.
I told y'all, I'm the talent. I just show up.
You are the talent.
I absolutely love it.
So, actually, we might as well wrap up now.
This is a lot of fun.
Literally the longest episode of ever.
But this was a lot of fun.
This
Did y'all have a good time?
Amazing.
Have a good time.
So we want to thank our guests for
homecoming this weekend and Ben.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Howard homecoming is this weekend.
Howard homecoming is
They'll be sharing this weekend with Hurricane. What hurricane is coming?
Joaquin.
We gonna have
Joaquin.
Y'all was like Atlanta real quick.
Joaquin.
Shout out to the Latinos.
So yeah,
if y'all are in DC, y'all y'all should hit up.
Are you going?
1,000 Bottles.
Absolutely.
On Friday.
Wait, 1,000 Bottles follows us on Instagram. I was really hyped when I found out.
Latex on Saturday. Latex. And the Hangover Brunch at, I think it's at Mansion on Sunday. Yes, Louisiana, Texas is like a big party. We had Latex in
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh,
what the hell
too.
is Latex?
Girl, Louisiana, Texas. Crawfish boy, baby. What's up?
A little club.
It's twerking and crawfish. That's all you need to know.
Crawfish boy, yeah. Is that the same thing that happens in
Brooklyn?
Here.
Okay, all right. Same boy.
The Crawfish boys.
Thank you to our guests for being here. We hope y'all had a good time. Follow us.
We got Instagram, we got Facebook, we got an email, we on all social media platforms, and we on iTunes.
We got Gmail too.
So subscribe to our podcast on iTunes at Black Meets World.
We launched officially when?
That feels
last week.
2 weeks
ago. 2 weeks ago.
Whoop, whoop. Check out
the
the creative. I think it's pretty spot on for our personality.
It definitely is. You can follow us on Instagram at black_meets_world. That's where you'll find most of all the things that we're talking about. Send us an email at blackmeetsworld@gmail.com if you have any suggestions or any feedback. We'd really love to hear it. If you don't have iTunes for any reason and you're still on your Android swag, please follow us on SoundCloud at Black Meets.
All the shit.
And if you're still listening, because usually this is when I
this is not gonna be a whole episode. Right. So yeah, that's it.
Appreciate y'all.
Have a good and blessed week, y'all.
Yes.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.